watch soccer on the Michigan Soccer Network.
I watch soccer on Michigan Soccer Network.
لا تنسون تتابعونا على Michigan Soccer Network.
I watch soccer on Michigan Soccer Network.
I like to watch soccer on Michigan Soccer Network.
I watch soccer on Michigan Soccer Network.
Me gusta mirar fútbol en Michigan Soccer Network.
I watch soccer on Michigan Soccer Network.
I love watching soccer on the Michigan Soccer Network.
Back to Beatrial. He'll take a shot and he'll bear it! And then he'll fire it from Billows and it'll go in! One-on-one with Kudret. She'll put it off the post, saved by Kudret. Cut back from him. He'll fire one, and that's going to go in! And that's going to be fired. Milano with a dot. She keeps fighting, looking for goal number 2. Cuts it inside, shot, and that goes in. Good work is this one by Henry. Oh, good save by Jasinski. Dot 280, that's missed. Oh, it's Stone! And the ball, and both goals so far. Will fire one, and that's a wonderful save. Buddy puts it back for Al Jazeer, beaten, and he'll bury it. Going. He'll fire one now from distance, and that is in. What a strike by Ben Maher. This is high kick, but they're going to keep playing. Kim has it now. Johnson with a shot, and that's in!
Welcome to Michigan Stars Elite Podcast provided by Michigan Soccer Network. My name is Erwin van Elst. I'm the Director of Coaching for Michigan Stars Elite, and I'm here today with our General Manager, Dan Chun. We're excited about being here for the first time. We will talk about numerous subjects today, but also we'll come back every month with new information about our programs and our club. First and foremost, I want to say that I'm very excited being here and provided the opportunity to talk about our club, but more importantly, even about why we do what we do. Our passion is soccer. Our passion is children and making sure that we continue to develop some traits that we feel are important for life skills, and ultimately we do that through the medium of soccer. It is the greatest game on earth. I'm fully convinced of that, being in the game for all my life. And we hope that we are bringing this passion to your child and to you as a family. So we are excited about what we can accomplish together. And ultimately, we're also going to check out what makes us unique in the world of soccer, in Michigan soccer, in our area, in some of the benefits that we provide, some of the facilities that we have, our programming. So all this will lay out in our next conversations. But first and foremost, we want to make sure that your child is getting the best training, the best opportunity that we can provide. And there are many clubs around here that do a great job in providing opportunities. We are no different. And we like to spend some time on letting you know and how we might be different, however, in how we want to accomplish our goals and align that with your values and ultimately with your opportunities you seek for your child. So enjoy the activities, enjoy our talk. We would love to hear back from you as well and get some feedback ultimately to make sure that we're having what we want to accomplish here, a fantastic time together with a unique opportunity that Michigan Soccer Network provides. So I can't say enough about the great things that are happening in soccer at the moment, and we hope that you are joining us for a long time. And as we now go into a commercial, we'll come back and we'll talk about our passion and our history.
Are you looking to grow here in 2023? Let the Michigan Soccer Network help you and your restaurant fill more seats. Help you and your law firm get new clients. Help you and your dental practice find more patients. Find more roofing customers for this upcoming summer. And to help you and your medical practice find new patients. To learn more or get started, visit MichiganSoccerNetwork.com.
Now Worrell has a good cutback from him. He'll fire one, and that's going to go in!
Don't just burn calories, torch those little suckers. Base Camp Fitness Troy, opening up this March, will help you get maximum results in half the time. Our intensity intervals of cardio and strength training will supercharge your calorie burn all in just 35 minutes. Make sure to lock in our founders rate and claim your 2-week risk-free trial by scanning the QR code on your screen. Base Camp Fitness Troy, located at 443 East Big Beaver Road in Troy, Michigan. Granite City Food and Brewery has 2 Michigan locations in Troy and Northville. Serves made-from-scratch food, brews in-house beer, and even has brunch every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. To learn more about their daily specials or to book a private party, visit gcfb.com. Make sure you head over to Granite City in Northville at the corner of 7 Mile and Haggerty, or the Troy location at 16 Mile and I-75. Thank you for stopping by the Michigan Soccer Network. To not miss out on any of the action, all you have to do is simply hit the subscribe button, and that way you're notified every time we bring new content or go live. Thanks for stopping by.
Welcome back to Michigan Stars Elite Podcast provided by Michigan Soccer Network. My name is Erwin van Elst, and we are going to talk in this segment about passion meets history. And when we say passion meets history, we will talk first and foremost about what drives us to be involved in the game of soccer as educators, as coaches. Dan Chan, General Manager, will share some of his ideas and reasoning, and I will do the same. So I will start off and start with passion is what has driven me to be in this business, so to speak, for over 30 years as a coach. But ultimately it started way earlier. It started when I was in the Netherlands as a young boy playing soccer, the only game, the beautiful game that we play there. And through that experience, I've learned so many life lessons. But at a young age, that's not what you think about. You think about, waking up and what kind of game do we have coming up, and the training session that comes up, and taking the bike out and meeting your friends and heading to the soccer pitch. And ultimately we spend weekends on the fields, and those are the memories that I foster. Those are the great times that we have. Great friendships, lifetime friendships have been created on that soccer field. Tears, blood, sweat, and tears all together. But I wouldn't trade that experience for anything. That's what ultimately has given me that passion to stay in the game. As we get older and our ability to actually become that active player or remain that active player, we have to look at different venues to stay involved. And for me, that was quite clear that I wanted to do something in coaching. And the reason is because I couldn't let go of the game. So that was the reason that I'm still here 30 years later as a coach slash educator in America. And the goal is to continue to inspire and teach young players the lessons that sports can teach. With that said, I have to mention for a moment, I've been extremely blessed and lucky that I've learned from one of the absolute greatest educators, René Mullenstein, who was a former Manchester United first team coach, and he's a good friend of mine. We grew up in the same area, and he has really taught me the importance of, the mannerism in coaching, the positive coaching, the patience that coaching requires, your influence that you have on and off the field as a coach. So again, all that together brings that passion on the field. Bringing that back to the club for a moment, as Michigan Stars Elite, we have people that are extremely passionate about what they do, coaches, administrators, and everybody around the game. So the culture that we've created and the culture that we continue to create is one of passion for the game, passion for the player, passion for, the process, so to speak, doing the right thing. And that's a hefty task. It's a lot of responsibility. I'm sure we're failing here and there. We're not perfect, but it's something that's very, very dear to our hearts. Dan is sitting next to me, general manager. And Dan, you have had your own experience in soccer. You have your children that went through it. So, take it from here.
Yeah, just give you a little bit of why I got into it. So, as a player, I played in a small club, so we had a lot of barbecues, a lot of parties. If we went to a championship game, they did a spaghetti dinner down in Hamtramck for us. So, it was kind of a neat experience. And then, something I never forgot. So then, and then my first experience in coaching was with a small club that had a similar feel. It was an Argentinian club, so we did a lot of barbecues, a lot of singing, a lot of stuff off the field. And I really enjoyed that part. So in 2007, when I started Revolution, the goal was to, as the landscape is changing, the clubs are getting bigger. Like, how do we, incorporate that feeling and that family atmosphere, family connection was always big on my plate. So my partner was from Argentina. Neil played for the Rockers. He was actually the captain back in the early 90s there. So when he retired, we started the club with that goal in mind. He introduced me to futsal, so we started looking at, how do we connect and create an environment for our families, develop players, and that kind of stuff. So when we opened up, after Neil had passed away in 2015, I opened up Michigan Revolution Training Center, which is MRTC. We have a mural of Neil on the wall actually there. So, but the goal was, when I opened the facility, was to create that environment, like a clubhouse feel, so our players could come in, high school kids, they come in there every day after school, they can train, they can hang out, they have a place to go. So we can develop the players. We do our Christmas party there. We do a lot of parties there. We do lock-ins for the families at night. So it kind of keeps that connection as the club grows. We can create that overall connection with our family. So one of the things we were finding was, some of our top players, we didn't have the platforms. They loved the club, and they had to move on. So, and they didn't want to. So what we started looking at is, like, how can we create a program where they can stay from 6 to play as long as they want. So, so we started talking to Rochester. They were having a similar Rochester Lightning was having a similar situation. So what we decided to do is, like, how do we raise that level? So what we came up with was Michigan Stars Elite, created, got into some of the bigger platforms for our kids. So the ones that we still have the Revolution, then we have the Lightning for more local travel, and then we have statewide travel, and we have National League travel, and then we have our Elite Academy, which is around the country. So we have all the levels we needed, and then on top of that, we created the semi-pro, the U23 for the men, and then the women's side as well. And at the same time, when we were putting our partnership together, Michigan Stars was creating a professional team. So So we got with them, and we connected all the pieces. So our families now can go from youth all the way to pro. We just signed one of our 17s to the pro team. We have several kids in college that still come back and train our facility. So what I was trying to accomplish in the beginning is kind of coming together. I love seeing the kids in the facility training, coming on non-training days, just coming hanging out and doing their thing. So it's kind of nice to see the vision come together.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback from there is, if you look at the soccer nation, so to speak, right, the soccer cultures, they have, every city, every town has their own club, and you breed that kind of, color, so to speak, as we talk about, you breed the colors of the club, and you stay with them, you're loyal to them, and you have the clubhouse, right? And in the clubhouse is what it sounds like. What you did with MRTC, the facility is provide a clubhouse for the players. So it's not just go to training and leave again. It's more than that. It's, you have interaction with your friends, and you're there for different reasons, and you can stay longer than just your regular training sessions, which is a fantastic thing. So as we talk about the different options, obviously being with Michigan Revolution and Rochester Lightning and Rochester Soccer Club, there's a lot of history over there. These are not new clubs. The Michigan Stars Elite is the new platform, so that's going almost into 2 years. So we've developed that type of higher level elite opportunity for players, but that does not to say that any player can play in either one of these platforms that we have and clubs. From about 3 to 4 years old, they can start, and they can go all the way to their basically when they go to college, right, 19 years old. So there's opportunities to play at any level, because one of the misunderstandings is that everybody is playing only for, let's say, a college scholarship or the highest level. And that's far from the truth. There's a lot of players just playing because they like to play the game of soccer. And we need to make sure that we preserve that throughout all the activities we do and through the offerings we have. So we have a lot of opportunity. I think the under-23 is an exciting piece, right? And there's more leagues happening, and there's more rivalries developing, I would think, which again breeds passion, right? If we talk about passion, then we need to have rivalries. We need to have games that you look forward to, that you put on the schedule. That is, whether that be Nationals, Liverpool, any of the clubs in the area, you want to play these teams and compete against them, because we know what it does. It breeds passion into a player. So our platforms provide that. What is it on your end, Dan, if you look at the Michigan Stars Elite, what has it provided you? And before we answer that, we'll go on to a break, and we'll be back and go on with what we ended with. Thank you.
Granite City Food and Brewery has 2 Michigan locations in Troy and Northville. Serves made-from-scratch food, brews in-house beer, and even has brunch every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. To learn more about their daily specials or to book a private party, visit gcfb.com. Make sure you head over to Granite City in Northville at the corner of 7 Mile and Haggerty, or the Troy location at 16 Mile and I-75.
Their first uniform, their first number, their first teammate, their first goal, their first coach. We take great care in making sure their first isn't their last. We're so much more than a soccer class. Come play with us today at kickstarttoddlersoccer.com.
Our mission is to help players take their game to the next level and reach their potential. Not only do we help develop fundamental technical skills such as ball control in tight spaces with different surfaces, dribbling at speed and changing direction, using a variety of 1v1 skills to create space, receiving on a half turn, hook turn, and out of the air, finishing off the dribbling, one-touch, volleys, and headers. We help players get comfortable performing these skills at game speed with pressure and with both their dominant and non-dominant foot. In addition, we help players with their speed of play, awareness of space, defenders and teammates, and also dominate with their off-the-ball movement. We offer a variety of services such as one-on-ones, small groups, large groups, as well as team sessions. We have an experienced coaching staff that is professional, friendly, patient, while still holding players to high standards and holding them accountable. No matter what level you're at as a player, I'm confident we can help you get better. Over the past 3 years, we've built one of the best soccer-specific training facilities in the country and developed one of the most detail-oriented programs to help out players.
And welcome back to Michigan Stars Elite Podcast provided by Michigan Soccer Network. Thank you for still being on here with us as we are excited about sharing our mission, our passion of the game, and talking about passion. That's where we ended our last segment. So we want to pick that back up again. And then I'm from the Netherlands, and part of that is, as we talked about passion, and as I already explained, it's very easy to be passionate about it because this is what our culture is about. The American culture, however, is not such. And you obviously are a passionate person about soccer. And tell me a little bit that journey. How did you get involved, or why did you see the value of soccer for you and your family?
So for me, it was interesting how I got involved with soccer, especially in the United States. When I did, it wasn't popular. We didn't have a soccer team at my high school until my junior year. So I found a club. Actually, a friend of mine brought me to it, and then I really enjoyed it. For me, it was a release. It was a connection with the teammates. I still have friends with the guys 30 plus years later that I played with. So so again, being part of a small club, and then kind of coaching a small club initially, and then as I got to know parents, and the first teams I put together were a lot of my neighborhood kids and friends of my kids. So we kind of created that connection, and then a lot of the kids, one of them actually plays professional baseball. So so taking into consideration when you're running a soccer organization, a lot of these kids do play multiple sports. So and then there's kids that are soccer 100%. So that's why it's important, and why we felt it was important to have the local levels, then the statewide, and kind of grow it from there. So we have the levels for everybody. The end goal really for me is having a place for these kids to play from 6 to whenever they want to stop. The ones that they have the right platform, they can come back. Like our U23 is really a lot of our alumni. A lot of our kids that play. So when they're done at 19 and they love the organization, want to be part of it, they have somewhere to come back and play. When they go to different colleges, but they get to come back and hang out with their friends in that kind of environment. So that's the ultimate goal of what our club's about, in my eyes at least. So
No, and it's for many clubs right now are trying to. I would think platforms are always a big talk, and we'll go back into that a little bit later on. But without passion, platforms don't mean anything. Without having a true love for the game, and that starts at the moment you come into a club, any club, and obviously for us at Michigan Stars and our partner clubs, Michigan Revolution and Rochester Soccer Club, where you can start much earlier, because we are starting at the U12 level. So Michigan Stars Elite, the platform, when the platform changes from 7v7 going into 9v9, and Directors Academy, which is a statewide league, that's where we enter as a club, right? And that's done for that purpose too, where we now see that certain players want to do more, and they want more opportunity, and maybe are more competitive, right, or / talented, and that's where the platform starts. But on a whole, with all three parties together, it's all about the same thing. However, it's still about creating this this environment, right, where you feel good, where you learn something, where you can be free and safe, and ultimately, work hard to achieve something, but that achieving is not for everybody the same. We're not all going to go to college with a scholarship. We are there to make sure that the players that don't have per se either the drive or the talent, right? That's reality. That they still have a fantastic experience. That they look back when they get older, look back at this setting that has been created, and feel good about what they've done, and have friendships, right? And lessons that have been brought out. So, having that said, I think U12 through U19, 2 years running. What has been accomplished? Has it been what you set out to do?
Yeah, initially, obviously, the team's got a lot better, and we're seeing players from those levels coming in, but we're also seeing, in the Revolution and the Michigan Stars Lightning, we also have teams in those levels. So, what you're starting to see is more like goals, right? So the elite brand, if you will, they train more. It's you're getting more players that are focused 100% on soccer, but you still have the club for the kids that don't necessarily want that, right? And in the past, they were kind of forced together. Some good players that are trying to play college and players that are looking for their friendship. So, what we're seeing is the right mentalities, I guess, and and those friendships that we talk about. Some of the best things I see is social media these days. You see pictures from 10 years ago, and you see these kids are still playing together, and they're still friends and stuff like that. And then at MRTC, we put pictures up every year, so for the Christmas parties, some different tournaments, stuff like that. So I see kids all the time coming back when they're 18, looking at when they were 8 and 10, and it's kind of neat to see that connection. So, but I think what the platform really allows is the levels for the higher level players that want more. And then they can still have their friends in the Revolution and Lightning and still guest play with them and still see them in the same organization. So really the goal is just to kind of have the organization with these kids. If they want to be here, they stay here, right? And they have a place, a home, and then we grow from there. And then the one thing I think we do well, I know there's a lot we probably don't do well if you talk to parents, but we do put out a lot of surveys. We listen. We ask for feedback constantly, and we're always trying to improve and be better. Like, I think you've said it, I've said it. We're here to help, So if there's something we're not doing right or something we can do better, we're always here to look to improve it. But the end of the goal is make this like a family. So that's, where I see this going. And, I see the elite kind of helping that growth we're looking for.
Yeah, and so I came on board June, so basically this season, and initially as a coach, and then ultimately director of coaching Goran, who has done much work here over many years and made a real impact. Left the soccer scene, and so I had the opportunity and. Given the opportunity to step up as a director of coaching, which was a role that I've had in West Michigan for, about 15 years or so already. But it's a rewarding role, it's a challenging role, but it also allows to work with the people and to change slowly, the DNA, so to speak, of the club. And I think it's fair to say then, that when you start a new club, which you guys put a lot of effort in and time in, and then COVID kind of, wrecked it for a while, and you had to gain momentum again, which every club had to do, that the first part is really more an organizational part, right? On making sure that everything works well and the right people are in place and facilities and your marketing and branding. And then now when you have that done and you're 2 years on the road, it's important now to get that internal content, right? Your player development, your really everyday activity. Who are we? What are we doing? And that message right now is what's going to happen here in the next years, is about creating this player development program and DNA that makes us different than another club. And not different in we are better, but just different for what we are and what we stand for. and we don't have to apologize who we are, right? I think every club has their own DNA and should have their own DNA. And with that, it's the beautiful thing that parents have choice, and you can go different places. I'm convinced that we have a good program, that we do things for the right reasons, but it has to happen on the field, right? The talk is always there, but we need to show it on the field. So we have people in place that are really starting to understand better and see what they do. The coaching staff for Michigan Stars Elite, by and large, came from the two clubs, and they kind of have merged in. Some of them, or most of them, still have a foot in the club where they were, right? Michigan Stars, either Michigan Revolution or Rochester Soccer Club. Is there a benefit to that?
Yeah. So, kind of getting back into, the first step when we did this obviously was challenges when we were putting two different organizations together. We have a lot of similar beliefs, but we have some differences as well. So the first thing was like getting the like-minded kids together. And then the next piece, so we're finishing up our second year. So, when Gordon and I initially put the coaching staff together, we handpicked coaches we thought would fit well. And now that they've been with the teams for a couple of years, you and I have been going through the process of reevaluating to see, so the first step is getting the right players, and then now we got to get the right members, coaching staff on those teams as well, so we can continue to grow what we're our mission and stuff like that. So I know we're getting ready for another commercial break. We can get a little bit more into that, and then some of the facilities and opportunities we have as well.
Fantastic. So yes, we are going for a commercial break, and we hope to see you back as we continue our conversation.
Now Worrell has a good cutback from him. He'll fire one, and that's going to go in!
Hey, give me some of it. Okay, all right, I'm going. The Journey, the Tilton Girls, take one.
My favorite moments ever as a father was the moment she made the A-team.
They would always push me and my friends as well.
Their authenticity and integrity that they were able to do everything with.
I still struggle with a little bit, just like the confidence, like knowing that I'm in a different environment.
I could not be more proud of you, Justice, and of you, Remini.
It's gonna be a roast here.
No, it's not a roast.
Motion, and it was hard. Don't tell anybody that.
And action.
Granite City Food and Brewery has two Michigan locations in Troy and Northville. Serves made-from-scratch food, brews in-house beer, and even has brunch every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. To learn more about their daily specials or to book a private party, visit gcfb.com. Make sure you head over to Granite City in Northville at the corner of 7 Mile and Haggerty, or the Troy location at 16 Mile and I-75.
Don't just burn calories, torch those little suckers. Base Camp Fitness Troy, opening up this March, will help you get maximum results in half the time. Our intensity intervals of cardio and strength training will supercharge your calorie burn, all in just 35 minutes. Make sure to lock in our founders rate and claim your 2-week risk-free trial by scanning the QR code on your screen. Base Camp Fitness Troy, located at 443 East Big Beaver Road in Troy, Michigan.
And welcome back to Michigan Stars Elite Podcast provided by Michigan Soccer Network. Thank you for being here. I'm talking with our general manager, Dan Chun, and we have been talking about passion, about what makes us unique, and we will continue that conversation right now. Dan, I think just before the break, we were talking about the platforms and about what has created it and where we go next. Can you lead us in again?
Yeah, so I was kind of talking about, like, the first part was getting the right players, right mindsets together, and then we're going through the evaluation, getting the right coaches on those teams to provide the right atmosphere and development for the players. So so one of the things we did, like, we have MRTC, which is, like I said earlier, it's a kind of clubhouse, small training. We got gym there, that kind of stuff. And then also we have the Oakland University, which Rochester uses, and they have their own complex over in Dutton. So we have the outdoor facilities, and then with the Stars Pro and Semi-Pro, we had partnered with, so we have the Michigan Stars Sports Center on 30 Mile, which they have a gym as well, full side field, and then 26 outdoor fields. So so what that means for our organization is it allows us to have the tools necessary to train our athletes the right way, bring in trainers, control our destiny, if you will, so we're not locked into time slots, where we can do what we need to do to provide and give the players the tools. So it gives us that flexibility from all levels and all ages. We can do our youth programs there. We can do, so it's all one location. And the nice thing is, going back to being part of smaller clubs in the past, one thing we always got to think about in the U.S. especially is kids are multi-sports. And some of these families have 2 or 3 kids in our organization. So having one location to go to is essential for a lot of families, so they're not driving back and forth and different days. Sometimes we can't control the days, obviously, but the rest of it, we can at least control it where families can come, stay for 3 hours, or they can go do shopping and grocery shopping, whatever they need to do. So so there's a lot of benefits there, and then we have access to gyms and stuff like that, so we can do stuff on campus. So it's really a nice environment for the families, I believe, at least.
Yeah, and so we're talking about facilities now. We've made that step to the facility part, and my gosh, having an 11v11 indoor facility that, we can't call it our own. We don't own it, but a facility that we have access to with the immediate area of 26 fields, 1 outdoor turf field. It just helps to create what we like to create, this family environment. From a training perspective, again, coming from the west side where we don't have any 11v11 facility, this really has helped to continue to develop players. We are roaming in the west side in very small places. 7v7, 8v8 being the biggest, and many times around futsal courts, and that's all we have. It's nothing wrong, but that's the only avenue we have. But over here, and for me now to go through the winter cycle, where our top teams are just training so much more, and with that training, it's not just the training opportunity, but it's also the field size that's available, right? At MSSC, at 30 Mile, the indoor facility, we often have 4 teams on that 11v11 field, which means you have 1/4, and that's a large piece. I have my old 4 boys, right? A nice, good team. And to train there, you can train your tactics. You can really work on different themes and topics, rather than just staying busy on the receiving part and the one-touch part. We can link this together to larger components, tactical pieces, pressing and playing through the thirds. So you can do a lot more with it, and it has been very beneficial. But even for the teams that are not at the elite level, there is a lot of training opportunity because of the facilities that we have and we have access to. That's a fantastic piece. The other part that comes with it, because you're connected with Rochester, the Dutton facility, Dutton Roads, fantastic grass facility. Yourself with an indoor opportunity. We have futsal courts, so we have a variety of training that we can provide, and we control many of the times, and that's the beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's one of the benefits. Like even the winter months, we can still go 3 days a week. I mean, like some of the older boys, they come every day. So they may not always be like on a field, but they could definitely hit the gym. They can with the futsal court, small turf, and the other piece that's nice, being at 30 Mile, we have the outdoor turf like you mentioned. So even in the winter, if the weather provides, we can move groups outside to create more space if we need be. But it's just a nice environment. And then the big perk at 30 Mile location, Michigan Star Sports Center, is the pros train there. So we're fortunate. Like even last night, 6 of the pros came out, work with players. So they train in the morning, but a lot of times they'll come get an extra workout in, or if a team needs extra work or a player is available, they'll come out and work with the youth, which I think is kind of a neat thing we can provide to guys that are playing, doing it right now, can come out and give back to the youth while they're still playing the game. So there's a lot of benefits with our facilities, giving the kids the proper tools. Access is everything. Like I was saying earlier, the book I read, Balance, it's about providing. It's about table tennis. They provided the most table tennis players in the world, and they said the guy said the key was access to facilities and having a trainer there. It was a 24-hour facility. They could come train, and they always had access, and they had trainers there available. So that's kind of the environment we're shooting for. Obviously, it's not perfect, but it's your job, my job to keep providing, making it better as we go. But the opportunity is there, and that's the key, I think, for our organization.
Yeah, and knowing that we are living in Michigan and the winters are there, and we have to go indoors, it's a must to create the best environment indoors. And we have the futsal, we have the turf fields, and plenty of opportunity, and an opportunity, create development as well, and also keeps you engaged, right? Keeps you passionate about what you do. You mentioned previously the dual sports, and I had 2 kids. I still have 2 kids, but they went through the games, right, and through the developmental stages and played competitive. But I also know that my son played golf, at high school, and he wanted to do that. And my daughter played small private school, played volleyball, and she played basketball, and she was playing at a high-level soccer team as well. And ultimately there were provisions made, and I'm thankful for that, by the clubs that she was part of, to not just compromise that she had to play this sport, only this sport. And I think if people want to and players want to, there's nothing wrong with it. The fact is that there's other opportunities out there, and that is still what America offers. Soccer is not just the only sport out here. And I remember a team that I coached, and if I look back right now, one of the players is an All-American Division II basketball player, but started and played soccer for a long time. Another one played at MSU basketball, Division I. Also started as a soccer player as its start of their athletic career. So there is a springboard and a relationship with other sports as well, and I think there's nothing wrong with it. On the other hand, we all know that there's choices to be made, and that there's moments that teams surpass this kind of dual sports because it hinders each other, right? Or it's too much. And I think from parents and coaches, and we all have to have an honest conversation if that happens. But that goes again with making sure that we do what's right? What's right for each player and right for each parent, and for us to then create the opportunity or to say it's not possible, correct?
Right, yeah.
And we are breaking this off here. We're going back to a commercial, and we'll hope to see you soon.
Thank you for stopping by the Michigan Soccer Network. To not miss out on any of the action, all you have to do is simply hit the subscribe button, and that way you're notified every time we bring new content or go live. Thanks for stopping by.
Don't just burn calories, torch those little suckers. Base Camp Fitness Troy, opening up this March, will help you get maximum results in half the time. Our intensity intervals of cardio and strength training will supercharge your calorie burn, all in just 35 minutes. Make sure to lock in our founders rate and claim your 2-week risk-free trial by scanning the QR code on your screen. Base Camp Fitness Troy, located at 443 East Big Beaver Road in Troy, Michigan.
Clubs love Ollie because it helps them manage their club and accelerate the development of their coaches and players. Every soccer club talks about their focus on development, but nobody actually measures it until now. We've developed the capability for every one of your teams to easily capture pro-level game stats in real time using a mobile phone. It's one thing at the end of the day to look up the results for your club, but how valuable would it be for directors to actually see how each team played? How well did a team possess the ball and control the game? How well did they create dangerous chances inside the box? How did your top players perform? And how is each coach improving from week to week? Ollie provides this powerful data through a club dashboard that shows club results and lets you drill down into any game or player. Ollie also includes team and club management that lets you communicate instantly with coaches, parents, and players, and lets directors see every club event so they can easily coordinate visits to matches and training sessions. It's got everything you need in one simple app. Reach out to us to get your club started today.
Welcome back to Michigan Stars Elite podcast provided by Michigan Soccer Network. Thank you so much for being with us. And we are about to end this first episode, this first podcast that we've been part of. Dan, has been a fantastic time and chatting here about our programming. As we are closing here, we just want to recap what we talked about. We talked about, obviously the creation of Michigan Stars Elite, what it has done for the two clubs that were part of it, that are the foundation of it, Michigan Revolution and the Rochester Soccer Club, Rochester Lightning. Passion. Passion is the big part that we need to install and create and foster. We talked about the pathways. The obviously from being a young player going all the way to the pros right now, because that's the line that we have. That's the connectivity that we have. As we are finishing up, let me just mention to you that when we come back in our next podcast, we will talk about how can you be part of our organization. There's tryouts happening. There are a whole lot of new activities coming up. We have open houses set up. We have obviously the tryouts. Many other clubs will do the same thing. So there's a lot of things going on, and we would love to share our reasoning for having your child to come to our program and be part of making a difference. So thank you so much for all your work, and we hope to see you back.